You're watching another great interview on Audio Inc. Radio.
Hey, this is Jeff Pilson of Foreigner, Dokken, M Machine, Black Swan, Revolution Saints, a whole host of wonderful bands. And you're listening to Audio Inc. Radio with Anne Erickson.
What is up? It's Anne Erickson from Audio Inc. Radio, and I'm very happy to be here with the legendary Jeff Pilson. How are you?
Wow, I made it to legendary. That's kind of cool.
I want to see that mug.
Today's show?
That's great. I love it. Did
Yeah.
you get that when you were on the show or something?
Yeah.
That's so cool. So hot for yoga. Tell me about that because that's on your name here on Zoom.
Right. Well, my wife has a yoga studio where they also do Pilates and all sorts of other stuff. But I teach a virtual meditation class there. It's generally Sundays at 12:30 Pacific. Sometimes it has to float a bit because of my touring schedule when I'm on the road. But for the next month, it should be there. And if you can come to hotforyogascv.com, you can get the details of how to take the virtual class. Anyone can do it. I've found that meditation has been so incredibly helpful for me. I started doing this during the pandemic just because I felt we all need a little calmness out of that craziness. And I've kept it up because I just really enjoy it. And we have some great students in there. So come join us. It'd be great.
That's fantastic. I love that. And I agree. I think that meditation, yoga, all of that can be so helpful for mental and physical health.
Exactly.
But you also have music to talk about.
I do. I do.
Congrats on your new record with the End Machine. I think it's great, the Quantum Phase. So
Thank you.
definitely tell me how it shows kind of the evolution of the band.
Well, the band started, the concept came up in 2018, and it came from Serafino, the head of Frontiers. He made a suggestion, and it's kind of convoluted how it came about, but the end result is we wanted to have the three guys from Dokken, so it would be George Lynch, myself, and Wild McBrown, with another singer, and we had Robert Mason from Warrant. And that's what we did on the first two records. It was great. It was a great chemistry. I thought it was wonderful. But this time we have a new singer who is absolutely phenomenal. And he came to us through Serafino from Frontiers, who wanted us to listen to this guy. And when we did, it was just absolutely no question about it. This guy's amazing. And not only is he a great singer, I mean, he's one of those singers that can sing anything, but he's also a great writer, and that's real important. So we were just ecstatic when we heard him, ecstatic when we got together and worked, and ecstatic with the results.
I love that you mentioned he's also a great writer because it means you kind of let him come into the fold and do his own thing and not just be singing your stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it was important to find someone that could do that. And I think because he kind of grew up on all our music, it's kind of in his DNA. So it was very natural for him to write for the kind of music that George and I come up with. Oh, and I forgot to mention that along the lines, Wild McBrown ended up retiring. And his younger brother, Steve Brown, who plays and sings exactly like Mick and plays with Tesla. He has joined the band, and he's been just a wonderful addition. So we're really, really excited about this lineup and certainly about this record.
Well, I have this awesome quote from you from a press release for you explaining Silent Winter. You say it's about the bleak prospects for humanity if we continue on our current trajectory, which is very bold and grim. And I want to know more about what you mean by that.
Well, I just, I think the thing that I'm really pointing to in all that is, we have these two sets of truths in this certainly in this country, and I think it's getting more and more in more and more in other parts of the world, where we have two measures of truth, and as long as we have that, we're divided, and that to me is a really horrible thing because that's not how great countries or empires or whatever you want to call us. That's not how they thrive. Is when they're divided and when there's no clear focus as to what is true, meaningful, and the way forward. And I think personally, people are starting to feel that and starting to recognize that. And maybe not the people at the top, the politicians and whatnot. Maybe they're not getting it yet. But somehow the people are starting to get it. And I think over time, the people are going to have to make a difference and really change things. And that's the positive message out of this, that people will actually do this. People will rise up and say what they feel is true and make it happen. And I think that's what needs to happen to change things. So, as bleak and grim as that does sound, I do believe that we have the power to change it if we decide to.
You know, when you're out touring and stuff, you've been touring for many, many years. Do you feel like America is more divided when you're out there on the road and kind of mingling with people? Do you get that sense?
Well, you see the divide, but at the same time, when you interact with people, people feel the same. People feel like people, regardless of what their inclinations are or whatever. So again, the division is there, but I wonder how much the division is amplified and exacerbated by media, by greed, by the nature of how our system works right now. Because I feel, like I say, I feel people have more in common and are less divided than we're led to believe, and what tends to happen through the media lens.
That totally makes sense because I've had discussions and hung out with people who I'm sure have very different beliefs than I do, but in the end, we end up being much more similar than different.
That would I totally agree with that.
And music too is something that I think brings people together.
Well, sure, and that's where I think we feel the boldness to use this platform to have a message like that. Because I do think music is a communal thing. I think music works best when the communication is two ways. You'll always hear artists talk about, well, I need to please myself first. Yeah, you do. You do need to please yourself. You need to make sure that the music you're making is something that excites you. Um, but to me, it's incomplete unless it has the connection with either an audience or people listening or whatever it may be, because it's the connection where music becomes really magical in my mind.
And one of my favorite songs off the new set is Shattered Glass Heart. So can you tell me a little bit about that one?
Yeah. Well, it was funny because Garish had another version that he sent us of the song, and we were like, well, it's good, but it's not there yet. Something's not quite right. We kind of worked on it a little bit and tried to make it better. And then all of a sudden he sends us that chorus and was like, fantastic. It's incredible. So I got to give Garish a lot of credit on kind of saving that song. And I personally love it now too. And it came a long way, and that's Girish on the lyric side that I think really made a difference on that one.
What would you say your new vocalist has brought to the band? Because it sounds like you just love him. He's a perfect fit.
Yeah. Um, he brings a voice with limitless potential, and he brings a songwriting skill that is both heartfelt and he can also be analytical, as you need to be as a songwriter. So he brings in a great songwriting skill. And even better than that, he brings in an amazing attitude because he'll listen to suggestions, take them, work on them. And if he disagrees, he'll say, but 9 times out of 10, if you give him a suggestion, he'll work on it until everybody's happy. And that's an incredible um, attribute for a singer to have, because it really means the writing that I feel like we could go anywhere we need to go with the writing. And that's a great feeling to have when you're in a band with someone.
Now, I know you're going to be busy on the road with Foreigner this year. Do you have anything in the works with the End Machine?
As far as live goes,
Mhm.
probably not. I mean, this year is going to be very, very busy. With, like you say, I'm out with Foreigner. I start March 1st and pretty much going fairly full tilt until the end. I mean, it'd be great if we could do something to promote the record. We'll see. But I don't anticipate any live stuff with other bands this year. It's going to be tough.
Well, it's a big year for Foreigner because this is your farewell tour, right?
This is year 2 of the farewell tour. Yes, and it doesn't mean we're going away. It just means this is the end of the 9 months on the road kind of touring. So that's why it's a farewell tour. I mean, we'll still be there. There's some unfinished music we'd love to finish up, if possible. And we perhaps will do other shows. I mean, we're we're kind of working on that now. But yes, this is the last time we're out there for the long tour, which, it's bittersweet. I mean, I'm going to miss it in some ways, but be happy not to have to do the traveling.
I think that's perfect because it's kind of a big farewell tour, but you guys, like you said, aren't going away. So it's not like the fans have to say goodbye forever. And I want to know about the music that you say you still have in the works with Foreigner.
Yeah, there's a couple of songs floating around that I would love to see us finish. And maybe 2025 will give us the time to do that. It's very, very difficult to do that when we're on the road. It's just really, really hard. And then when we have time off, people need the time off. So, it's very hard to write and record touring as much as we do. But like I say, maybe in 2025 we'll have some time to deal with that.
And maybe one-off shows, like you mentioned, not obviously like
Yeah.
a huge tour, but some one-off stuff.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, I think there's likely to be something.
Right. And I see that the end of the tour is in Las Vegas with a bunch of dates there. So what are you looking forward to about that? That's a great city, for music tours and acts like you guys.
Oh, it is. Well, we're doing two runs at the Venetian, and we're doing one at the end of March, and we're going to actually record and film that for a live CD DVD that's going to come out to promote the end of our run in Vegas, which will be in November. So yeah, we have two residencies coming up in Vegas. Like I say, the end of March, 8 shows then, and end of October, early November. I believe it's another 8 shows there. And we love the Venetian. We love the residencies. And the residencies we can kind of, open up a little bit more. We tend to do an acoustic set during the residencies. All of that is just so great and so much fun. And like I say, it makes for an exciting year.
What will you miss most about doing the big tours with Foreigner?
The camaraderie. We it's a great bunch of the band. We're all we're friends. We love one another. There's a deep, deep friendship in there, and I'll miss that. I'll miss that. I mean, getting on the bus or the plane together, and hanging out and talking, and just lots of laughs. We do. I mean, we laugh a lot. I'm gonna miss all that. That camaraderie that's been the secret to keeping this afloat for 20 years.
Right, because most bands, I mean, that's a long time. So you guys have to like each other.
Yeah, we do. I mean, it's very, very deep and real.
What do you think is the best Foreigner song of all time? Not necessarily the most popular, but just like the perfect Foreigner song.
Well, no, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I don't know if there is one quintessential. I mean, certainly I want to know is well, that is the most popular, but I mean, there's a reason why it's the most popular. I mean, it's an incredible song. It really is. Although I think Waiting for a Girl Like You is, to me, one of the greatest songs ever written. I mean, I just think it's an amazing song. It kind of stands unique on its own. Um, and in a way, I would put that as the ideal Foreigner song, except for I'd hate to make it a ballad. I also think Feels Like the First Time is still the greatest first single of a rock band ever. And it's to this day when we play that song, get to that chorus and everybody's singing Feels Like the First Time. It's amazing. So I kind of put those three probably in the top tier.
I love it. They're all good ones. So they can
Yeah.
all be tied for the best.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have a favorite memory from your time with Foreigner?
A favorite memory. Wow. Well, I will say that the night that we played with Led Zeppelin at the O2 Arena, this was in late 2007. It was a tribute to Ahmet Ertegun, but Led Zeppelin reformed for the show, obviously with Jason Bonham on drums instead of his late father. Um, that was just a really magical night. Uh, I mean, I didn't really know what to expect from the audience because we were going to play right before Led Zeppelin. And I mean, they shut down the internet. There was millions of requests for what, 23,000 tickets or something, whatever it was. Um, and it was a big deal. And the anticipation in the air, knowing Zeppelin was going to play, was so palpable. Um, so, but that night was so magical. When we played, I felt the crowd with us 100%, and it was a very reassuring, powerful, wonderful feeling. Um, it was amazing. Our set was great, And then when Zeppelin came out, they gave what I call a master class in how to be a band that listens to each other. They were so on, so focused. It's a show I'll never forget, and it was just an amazing night. So I guess that's my biggest memory.
I love it. Just how you describe it, I can kind of feel my heart goes, oh my gosh. I mean, I can only imagine Zeppelin, and I don't think they're going to reunite ever again. People have been
I
trying to
don't
get them
think.
to reunite for so long. That's great.
Yeah, they had been disappointed by their previous attempts to reunite, like at Hearing Aid and Motown or Atlantic's 25th anniversary or 40th, whatever it was. And so they were out to be really good. They wanted to prove everybody wrong and be amazing. And it was really a magical night of music.
Yeah, I keep wanting to see Robert Plant solo at least, to kind of get a
Mhm.
taste of that, but I haven't yet.
Yeah, I mean, he was amazing that night. And he had come to some of our shows previously because, Jason w was playing with us at the time, although Jason didn't do the set with us that night. But he came to some shows and he was talking about, he didn't know about the vocals. He knew that the Zeppelin vocals were difficult and he hadn't sung them in a while, and he was nervous about it, but man, he came out there and delivered. And like I say, it was like a master class just to watch real guys do it for real. It was an amazing night.
What is next for you, both with Foreigner, The End Machine, and any other projects you have happening?
And Machine comes out March 8th, of course. Quantum Phase, the record. Silent Winter is out there. The video is out there and available for people to see, I believe, on YouTube. So look for that. When we have another single coming February 15th called Killer of the Night. And then, like I say, the record March 8th. So very excited about that. Um, I leave March 1st with Foreigner to tour, like I say, pretty much till the end of the year. But actually, right now, in the other room is Reb Beach, who's here for a week. And we've started writing the next Black Swan record that I'm sure won't be out till sometime in 2025. But Black Swan, of course, is with Reb Beach, Robin McCauley, and Matt Starr. And Reb and I have been having a great time. I mean, he's only been here 2 days, and we've got him. We're on our third song already, so we're kicking some butt, and we're gonna have a great new Black Swan record coming in 2025.
Yay, so lots of
Oh, and I
great.
forgot to mention Revolution Saints, which
Oh, wow.
comes out in a couple days. So yes, it's a full calendar.
I love it. You have so many different projects and they all have a unique thing to them, so they never sound the same.
Oh, very well. Thank you. That's a big compliment because as a producer, you want each thing to have its unique identity, not the producer to have the unique identity. So thank you.
Well, it's been awesome hanging out with you. Is there anything else you'd want to add, Jeff?
No, just thank you for this. This is a great interview and great to be here and looking forward to everything.